Good morning, everybody. As you're getting in this morning, we want to welcome you out. I'm Jared Arnett, the Executive Director of SOAR, acronym for Shaping Our Appalachian Region. We like to see us not as much as an organization, but as a movement of multiple people and organizations and partners that, as we like to say, believe there's a future in Appalachia and are working together to create it. We've all been most definitely impacted by the recent COVID-19 pandemic, and everybody's working different. What we found is ingenuity of people finding ways to continue to deliver value and grow businesses. And so we've had several of this. This is a part of a series of webinars that we call Business as Unusual, because that's what we're all doing. And so this is one of those in a series. You can find those on our website. There's afuture.org/business as unusual. We've got all the ones we've had so far recorded. Those have included sessions on employers and unemployment with Josh Benton from the Workforce and Education Cabinet, to how to maintain a healthy workplace if you're an essential employer, to leveraging e-commerce if you're a retail store. So you can find those all pre-recorded and links to all resources on that website. There's afuture.org/business as unusual. We're excited to have the Holler Creative on with us today, talking about digital marketing strategies and using social media to maximize your reach. They're based out of Corbin, Kentucky. I'm going to let our team member at SOAR, Ryan Jones, he's our Director of Business and Innovation, talk a little bit about them and intro another one of our team members before we get this thing kicked off. I'll say, just from a logistics standpoint today, we'd love for you to include any questions you have. There's going to be some Q&A at the end. At the bottom of your screen, there's a button that says Q&A. If you could type your questions in there, we'll watch those and add them as we go along. And then you can upvote those, give it a thumbs up, the ones you see that are most relevant or you'd like to hear answered, and we'll try to get those by priority. If we get through all the written questions at the end, there's a feature where you can raise your hand, and we'll take that if we've got time, and allow everyone to ask some questions, or maybe just provide some feedback and discussion. We'd love to have that happen today. Guys, we appreciate everybody that's here today, and I'm going to kick it over to Ryan Jones, again, our Director of Business and Innovation. Ryan?
Hey everybody, my name is Ryan Jones, Director of SOAR Innovation. Just thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here with us and be a part of this webinar. I think it's going to be really informative. A lot of businesses, nowadays have been really devastated by this pandemic, but there's still ways that you can reach your customer base, especially if you're in the space of an e-commerce business. So this is going to be some critical information. So please, if you have any questions, comments, leave those in the chat function or the Q&A function. Glad to have Holler Creative on with us today. We got to know them through our Business and Innovation Champion that's also on the line, Tal Jones. Tal is located out of London, Kentucky, which covers the I-75 corridor. We have a team of business and innovation champions throughout our 54-county footprint in Eastern Kentucky, providing technical assistance and services and more resources to businesses to help them grow and scale their business. So we're glad to have Tal on, and big shout out to him for helping us put this together today. And the Holler Creative, great company based out of Corbin. They're a digital marketing agency based there in Corbin, Kentucky, offer a number of digital services to clients. They also produce the Holler Cast, which is a podcast that you can find on Spotify and Apple Podcast. If you would like to know which gas station food that I like, or Tal or Jeffrey Justice, go listen to their podcast. That is the first question they ask all of their participants, which is a really fun thing. If you want to know, get to know more about them, visit their website. Also, they have a Appalachian-inspired branding apparel brand company called Latchin. So you can find out more information about Latchin at latchinclothing.co, which I hope that they will talk a little bit about today in our webinar. Other than that, just wanted to say that our innovation team, we're here for you. We're here for your business. We know times are tough right now. If you want to know any more information about some of the recovery funds that are available, our team is here to assist you. Or if you just need somebody to chat with, if you want to help kind of reimagine your business, we are here for you, and our team can help provide assistance. So without further ado, I want to welcome Kevin Flora with the Holler to kick us off. Kevin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Jared and Tal. Appreciate you guys having us on here. I've actually got Josh going to start us off. So Josh and I are co-founders in the Holler Creative. And as Ryan had mentioned, we have some subsidiary businesses as well. So Josh, I'll let you kind of take over and talk about things. And don't forget to mention that download of kind of understanding the basics of digital marketing.
For sure. All right, guys. Hey, thank you to the SOAR team, Ryan, Jared, Tal, Josh, Jeffrey. I know you're a good bud of ours, and everybody, on the SOAR team. Like, we just appreciate what you guys are doing to help small businesses in our region that we care deeply about, which is, you're going to hear a little bit about us today. You're going to hear how to use social media to maximize your business and your efforts. And I hope this is something that you guys get value out of. We're going to try to go through our content, our slides and things we have today. But we think that the best way that you guys can get value out of this is to hear some questions, and hopefully we can provide some good answers for you guys. So please, again, if you have a question, don't hesitate till the end. Go ahead and type it down. We have people that are monitoring that and are going to, come back to those at the end. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. Even if we don't get to it right away, we're going to get to them at the end, as many as we can. So the Holler, we are based obviously in Eastern Kentucky and Corbin. You could recognize the name, and what most people probably in this group or know what a Holler is, but we wanted to kind of, I guess, have a name that talks about our mission. And so the Holler, or people in Appalachia in general, is our mission. And our mission is stated as we want to bring hope and opportunity to Appalachia by helping business owners maximize their efforts online. And today I think this is great timing for us as a business, because we have really put a lot of time into thinking about each social media platform, all the main ones anyway, that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about a couple new ones probably that maybe you're not doing anything on yet, or maybe you're scared to do anything on, or maybe you think it's irrelevant. And hopefully we can provide some information that is going to give you guys comfort into deploying a strategy on these platforms. So the Holler, we want to bring hope and opportunity to Appalachia. Me and Kevin, we met in a coffee shop in downtown Corbin at You and Me Coffee and Tea. Some of you probably are aware of that place. That is what we call our first home for the Holler. We actually met in a Bible study. We joined the same men's Bible study together around the same time. And for a few weeks, we kind of just were filling each other out and trying to get to know each other a little bit. And one thing kind of led to one conversation, led to another, and we both had similar interests. At the time, I was an insurance agent selling insurance policies. I was an independent agent, so I was commercial sales is what I was doing. I was working out of a firm in London, Kentucky, and I just didn't love the sales part of it. I went to school, I was wanting to get into healthcare. I started out going to nursing school, and then I went into the athletic training, physical therapy route. And I decided that continuing my education probably was not the best thing for me. Physical therapy school is one of the hardest things to get into. in the healthcare profession, and turns out that I was not the most competitive student to get into school right away. So I decided to get married and start my career in sales. And so I was doing that whenever I met Kevin. And I just, was unhappy. I knew I wanted to start my own thing, and I knew I wanted it to be something that was online based. And then Kevin, I'll let Kevin, you can come on here in just a second and kind of introduce yourself and maybe a little bit of your background. I don't know how deep we need to go into that, but I think it's important to kind of know the background of the Holler, if you know a little bit about our background and how we met and kind of how we put together our services. So so we met at the coffee shop and, started talking about things, and then put Kevin's background together, and kind of, he's one of the hardest working guys you'll ever meet. And he hustled his way through college and through grad school and all those things. And he taught himself how to build websites and how to market yourself online. And so I brought in kind of like a sales perspective, and he brought in more of the technical side of things. And we kind of put those things together. I got really invested into building websites and running social media and graphic design and all that stuff whenever we met. And it just kind of formed like a perfect kind of partnership. But Kevin, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit and add anything to kind of how we met and how the company started.
That was super nice. Thanks, Josh. So my wife was at University of Kentucky in dental school and pediatric dentistry residency forever. And so I got a job there by the grace of God, became a professor, and it was free to go to school while I was working there. And so I ended up getting a PhD in educational leadership. And we moved here. It's my wife's hometown, Williamsburg, Kentucky is, and we moved back to pursue her lifelong dream of helping this region back out. And I attached myself onto her dream, as married individuals do. And here we are.
So we call Corbin our home, and we are here to hopefully help Appalachian businesses grow, because we think that there's so much creativity that really just needs to be unleashed for the world to see, that runs through the mountains. And we strongly believe that we just need to help educate businesses on how to use these platforms that can really transform not only their life and their family's life and their business life, but then the communities that surrounds them. So we have a couple downloads as we kind of go through this that we hope will be helpful to you. One is an ebook that we wrote about a year ago. It just basically runs through the essentials of digital marketing. And that's the download you see on the screen there in the bottom left corner. I think I saw Ryan, you put you pasted the link in there, but we're going to make sure that everybody gets all of this information that wants it. So if you somehow don't get the link in the downloads that we provide, let us know, let Ryan know, or one of these guys know, and we'll make sure that you guys get whatever you need. I think they said too.
We'll add everything on our website.
Right.
So we'll add all the content there, and we can send a follow-up email to all the participants today. So
perfect.
Thank you, Josh.
All right. That's a little bit about us. Now let's get into some of the content. So the first things first, like decide what your brand's message will be and stick with it. That's our first piece of advice to people that kind of come to us and want to know how they can grow their business online. We think that staying true to your message and your mission is the most important thing that you can do. What you're going to learn today from us is that we don't utilize social media to, we want to make sales, but we think it as a long play. Like social media, especially on the free side of social media, there's also paid advertising that can really take your strategy to the next level. But like on the daily posting and those kind of strategies, your brand and your mission and message is so important that you're getting that across to your audience, because it's more of a nurturing process. And people that follow you and see you and want to know more about you, you're kind of taking them along a journey to learn more about your brand. So figure out what that mission is. For us, like we mentioned earlier, it's for us to bring hope and opportunity to Appalachia, to Appalachian businesses in specific. And we continually put that message in front of people. And we do it through different mediums and different forms and different platforms. And so that's the first piece of advice. Really define what your message is and what you want it to be. That's the first thing before you get to trying to sell something. Always talk about why you're in business and not what you're selling, because that's what people stick around for. They don't stick around for your product all the time. You know, maybe you have an outstanding product and they keep wanting to buy it, but really you want brand ambassadors that are going to take your message and sell it to other people on your behalf. So the only way they can do that is if you are giving them the information they need to then carry on that message to their communities and their people they know. So that's really how this thing's going to work really well. So you can go to the next slide, Chase. Chase Hales, I'm sorry, he's on the call. He's on the panel too. He's our director of operations. Sorry, Chase, I should have introduced you earlier, but he's kind of helping us flip through slides and yeah. So thank you, Chase, for being here and helping us. Okay, yeah, so let's get into some platforms in specific and what we use them for. If you guys saw kind of like an intro video, you know, different members of our team talked about each platform in specific and talked about how we use it, but we can run through those real quick. And also there's another download here. There's a posting guide, and there's also a social media rationale, which basically takes the information I'm about to say right now and puts it into words that you can download and read and use for later. So Facebook is obviously the biggest social media platform out there for the most part. I mean, it's a catch-all. That's what we think. It catches all kinds of different audiences. It catches all different age ranges. It's kind of getting into more of like the younger or the young adult, young professional kind of demographic. Probably not the teenagers and those kinds of age groups, but we think of Facebook's the catch-all for business owners that are trying to market their services and mission online. So that's a great place to start. There's so many different features to Facebook that help to like you have Facebook pages, obviously, which is where your business is going to live on Facebook's platform. You also have groups where you can target certain demographics and get them inside of a group and communicate directly to them. And that's a great feature of Facebook. It's actually, that's what Facebook wants more of, is building community inside of their platform. So they're doing that through what they call Facebook groups. And you're probably, if you are involved in some groups on Facebook, you'll notice that you're seeing less Facebook pages and more Facebook groups in your timeline, in your newsfeed. And that's on purpose, because Facebook has changed their algorithms in the last year or so to where they're pushing groups a whole lot more than they are pages. And that's making a lot of business owners mad, I think, because they've invested a lot of time into their Facebook page. But you know, whenever platforms change, you know, way we look at it, and you can even take it to a bigger scale with like what's happening with COVID-19 and all this. But oftentimes when these kind of changes happen, it offers a huge opportunity for small businesses to be innovative in how do they react to those changes. And one of those is creating a Facebook group can really help your business grow, because you can communicate straight to your demographic. You can build a community around them. And that's always good. So that's Facebook. You know, Facebook now owns Instagram, and that's old news, but Facebook owns Instagram, for those that don't know it. And so we'll talk about Instagram next. We love Instagram. This is probably my favorite platform because one, it's less drama. It's just pictures and videos and a little bit of description about the picture and video, and that's awesome. So if, you know, those of you that are on Instagram kind of know the way it works a little bit, but we use Instagram a lot to kind of, it offers a creative, I guess, a graphically pleasing post for us to do. So it really gives us a creative outlet. It's a platform for that. So we can post really nice graphics, really nice videos and pictures. And that's what the users are looking for. They're looking for things that are really pleasing to the eye, and that's really cool. So also too, we use Instagram for their stories. Instagram stories is probably the thing I spend most time on. our Instagram stories. It's the first thing I do when I open up the app, and you guys are probably like this too that have Instagram. The first thing you do is roll through your stories at the top. And we personally, or for our business, what we use those for is to kind of give a behind the scenes look into what we're doing either in that day or during that week, and what projects we're working on. It really gives us a platform to show what it goes into a project that we're working on, so that people can hopefully appreciate the kind of effort and work that we put into projects and things. And that's really cool, because it allows people to look into the personality and the culture of your company. And a lot of these platforms allow that too, but Instagram is really good for that, especially in the story section and those kind of things. Snapchat. So Snapchat, it's a pretty cool platform. To me, it's the most, it really shook up Facebook and Instagram. I think I was talking about Instagram stories. That was birthed out of Snapchat, and because Snapchat's 24-hour, like your posts, disappear after 24 hours. That happened on Snapchat before it happened on Instagram and Facebook. Now almost every platform is experimenting with stories and things like that. So Snapchat, to me, it's a very, it's the one that probably we use the least as a company, because we're still trying to figure it out. Honestly, we're still trying to figure out the best way to use it. But we do know that that's where your youngest generation is going to be at. Maybe not the youngest in the list we're talking about, but it's definitely a younger generation. So if you're trying to sell a product or trying to start a community with younger people, maybe between 16 and 25, maybe in that range, that's where you're going to find a lot of those users on Snapchat. So let's go to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, actually, in our research, in our time of looking at these platforms, LinkedIn offers the biggest opportunity for businesses that are trying to grow in their B2B sales. So to us, LinkedIn is really good, especially right now, because there's so much organic traffic and organic opportunity that when you make a post, you may get several hundred or 1,000 people on your first post to see your post on LinkedIn before you would on Facebook or Instagram. LinkedIn is it's a growing platform right now that I think it's very sneaky, that no one really thinks about. But LinkedIn, even if you're just any kind of business and you're just trying to get your message out there to people, LinkedIn is a huge opportunity right now that I couldn't emphasize enough for your business to get on and try to figure out a strategy that's gonna further your brand. Twitter, I personally use, and I think most of us use Twitter for our daily news and updates. And I think a lot of that is because people can digest information quickly on Twitter. That's just the nature of the platform. So there's a limited amount of characters you can use, and people aren't really looking for pictures and videos on there so much. They're looking for quick snips of content and news. YouTube, we love YouTube. If you follow the Holler at all, you see that we do a lot of work on YouTube. We post at least one vlog a week. We're starting to get into some how-to videos and those kinds of things. YouTube is just a fun platform. It's also another platform that it offers a lot of creativity, so that we can use that creative energy and put it into a platform like YouTube and do some long form videos and those kinds of things. TikTok. So TikTok is the one in the center there. This one, I don't think businesses really know the opportunity, and I think we're still experimenting and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to use it to grow. But TikTok, if you guys now this it's kind of funny because like most of the audience on there are younger. I'm talking like 10-year-old to 18, or is like where you're at. But TikTok, I think, is a really cool opportunity if you're trying to be if you're trying to have a lot of people see your content in a short amount of time. TikTok offers that opportunity. Our first post on TikTok, I haven't looked at numbers recently, but I think it was up over 25,000 the last time I looked. On our first post, 25,000 people saw it, and that's crazy. We put no money into that. We just made a funny video that kind of showed a service that we offer, and a little bit of our culture, and 25,000 people saw that. That's pretty crazy. So that kind of gives you the opportunity, that shows you the opportunity that TikTok provides. We also, back to the long play, like if the Holler, we function on social media in our daily posting strategy. We are trying to build a brand. And we think that, if we can start hitting younger generations now, then in 10 years, they're going to be our buyers later, whenever they have a business or they're the marketing experts within a business that they're in, that they look at the Holler at the first people that they really saw marketing information out to. So we think of TikTok as that first, I guess our effort on there is to show the younger generation that a marketing company like ours exists now, so that later down the road, whenever they're thinking about us later, or they're thinking about their actual career later, that they think of us first when they need a new website or they need to know how to do something online to grow their business. So like that's the way we think continually is how can we use social media to build our brand, not just for the immediate, but for 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So that's honestly, that is how we use these platforms, is we're continually thinking about building our brand. So yeah, so that kind of gives you a rundown. Again, those downloads in the bottom right corner there, those links are going to be provided. If you somehow cannot get access to them, please let us know. These are tools that are going to really help you guys. The social media posting guide in particular, that one's going to really help you guys organize your posts. And you can, there's a calendar that's provided. And there's all kinds of different tools that teach you about each platform, or the main platforms. We didn't put all platforms that we just talked about on here, but it's going to teach you how to post and how often you should post, and those kinds of things. So it'll get you started. If you have no social media strategy at all, that'll get you started, and it'll get you to, I guess, in a rhythm of posting regularly on social media. So Chase, you can flip over there. So I think this is where I'm going to turn it over to Sir Kevin, and he's going to kind of roll through some content for you guys here. Again, please ask questions. It's going to benefit the whole group, even us, to help you guys. Like if you guys are asking questions that are really similar, then we know what kind of content we need to help people with. So that's going to be really helpful for not only, the rest of the group, but for us as well. So please, if you have something, please ask it and we'll get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Josh. And just a little bit more on that last slide with those social media platforms. It's very important, and we ran into this pretty early on in the business. It's so important to know kind of the politics, the back end of these platforms, who owns who, what they're doing, why they're innovating. And so we got so frustrated that we didn't know that we ended up allocating one of our team members to daily focusing on the latest news in digital marketing. That's a free resource to you all that you can sign up for a daily newsletter. It's called hollerhustle.com. Josh, if you can type that in the chat, hollerhustle.com. And what that is it's what is the daily news? What's going on around the world? Why did Google work so much on Google Drive? Well, it's because they tried to buy Dropbox, and Dropbox said, no, we don't want to be bought out. So Google said, we'll overtake you, right? Facebook owns Instagram. So then they decided to approach Snapchat and say, we want to buy you, Snapchat. And Snapchat said no. So all of a sudden you see Instagram stories start getting lots more attention, because that's what Snapchat is stories, basically, right? And so knowing kind of the back end politics kind of will teach you how to angle your business and angle your efforts to where you're going to make the most out of them moving forward. Google owns YouTube. You want to rank higher in people's Google searches. You want your website to rank higher. Do something on YouTube with the same name. Put your URL in the profile. Google owning YouTube is very important to know. And if you don't know that, then you're kind of missing out on a piece of knowledge. So as those acquisitions happen, as those updates happen, Tesla, where's Elon Musk putting his money? That's important to know. Not for your personal investment, but for your business and time investment of where should your efforts be focused, right? So I just wanted to iterate a little bit more on that last slide. This slide is kind of our final big piece of knowledge, is to be real and be unique. People can see fake, people can smell fake, and it's so easy to see. As soon as you get to know someone, you can go look at their social media and see, are they displaying digitally who they are in real life? It's obvious, right? We see this in church, we see this in the world, we see this in business. So the best way to go about your life is to be real about who you are, be unique. I would take a little bit further in just being transparent. If you're having a hard day and you haven't had a social media post, go on social media and kind of talk about why you're having a hard day. What are you struggling with as business? That's gonna tell your audience that, hey, these people are real. They don't have it all figured out, and I'm gonna watch them work through this struggle. Or I'm gonna watch them work through this issue, and then that next day when you get that issue figured out, go back on social media, post about it, comment on your post that you made. Right? Do something very, very unique, because that's gonna separate you from the crowd. Everybody else is just posting their best stuff. A good example of this, and Chase, if you'll press the next button, if you guys have ever seen the show The Office, why are we so intrigued by it? What makes it interesting to us? It's because we can relate to it, right? It's funny. It's got a lot of humor in it, but man, if there's not an episode that you can relate to, I would maybe suggest that maybe you've never worked in a workplace before, right? Like there's just something about The Office that is so funny, but the reason it's so funny is because it's so real. It's just, it's ultimately who they are, but it's because it's who we are that makes it funny, right? And so the other side of this is kind of this meme of, sometimes we think we have really good content or we're doing something really good, and we think like they do there, maybe YouTube will come down and tape this, right? That's not the reality. Things don't happen outside of you taking action. And so if you got something going on that's good, it's not arrogant, it's not cockiness to go post it or to talk about it on social media. You can come across with a humble confidence, right? That sets your business up as an expert of hey, we figured this out and we want to share this with you. As long as, and that's kind of the way that we look at things, is if we can inject hope, if we can inject opportunity back into Appalachia through what we're posting, what we're doing, how we're angling ourselves in our vlog, our weekly vlog on YouTube, even a TikTok funny, dance video, whatever. If it's injecting hope or injecting opportunity, it fits our mission. We're going to do it. It's what makes us real. It's what makes us unique. It's spreading our mission. We don't do how-tos every day. We're going to start doing those because this time during coronavirus, we feel that it's an important time for people to maybe acquire some of those skill sets that are menial, but could have a bigger reach, right? Like how to do a short graphic design, how to source new clients, how to edit a video, things like that can really help you. And you'll start seeing those on our social media. But typically it's just us being real. It's us being us. But YouTube never comes down and films you, right? Nobody ever posts on your behalf on Facebook. The effort has to be yours and yours alone. So Chase, if you'll go to the next slide there. So this is kind of the prioritization list, if you will. What we see ourselves as is digital strategists, right? We build strategy around digital platforms that promote business to a next level. So the first thing is you're going to build a strategy. The strategy should include your web presence, so your website, right? Your social media platforms. And going back to that slide with all of the social media platforms, why are you on them? If you can't answer why you would be on a social media platform, then don't do it. I think you're much better served just picking Facebook and doing Facebook well, building a community around Facebook only, than you would trying to do all of them, right? So build your strategy. Why are you picking the social media platforms that you are? Where's the website at? Is it helpful? Does it need to be redone? You don't have to pay $1 million for that, right? But remember, an asset is an asset of your business, right? A website is so important. We pay so much money for a car that depreciates in value just so we can have this prideful, look what I'm driving, right? But reality is, for business, the website is your car. And so it's not something that depreciates. A website should be dynamic. It should never just be up and static. It should always be dynamic. It should always be moving as your company is moving forward. So build your strategy. What all goes into that? Look at your website. Look at your branding. We talk a lot about an attractive character. So our company has a character that we've developed. So anybody that posts in our company posts under that same kind of mindset of that character. Are we taking the character of we're the expert in this? Are we taking the character of, oh, look, we figured this out, let us help you? Are we taking the character, what's our character that we're building? Kind of think of it as a cartoon character, right? Your business has a character that it will develop or has developed. So just take that character, and no matter who's posting on your behalf in your company, have them post as that character, right? When they're posting out on social media, that's going to make the efforts across your team very consistent on social media. So look at your website, look at your branding, make sure it's all consistent across all platforms. Number 3 right there. Make sure the logo looks the same on LinkedIn as it does on Facebook. Make sure your colors are consistent, your fonts are consistent. Make your brand and your website and your digital platforms you. Make that all the same. Focus on your social media. Look at that posting guide, that download that we put in here. It's gonna walk you through, like we went back and we researched, not just through our platforms, but through the world's platforms. When are the most appropriate times to post on each day, on each platform? And that's what is in that posting guide. So it'll say, like, for example, I don't know if this is exactly it, but it'll say Tuesday at 2 o'clock was when you should schedule your Twitter post. What that's telling you is that Tuesday at 2 o'clock is when most people are on Twitter, and you'll get the most organic reach from whatever you post on Twitter at that time, right? That's based on worldwide research. It's not just Corbin, Kentucky. And so that posting guide is really going to help you to focus on social media and schedule those things out. And then the 5th thing is advertisement. And this is kind of the next step after you get everything in line. And Chase, if you'll go to the next slide, I want to walk you quickly through, and then we'll take some questions, a couple little case studies. We have a client it's a large healthcare center in Kentucky. They're community healthcare centers, so they're across the entire state. I think 170 different offices, locations. But they wanted us to focus on 2 pages, two of their offices, right? Of their 170, they wanted to focus on 2 of their offices, and they wanted to kind of do an A/B test. And so over the course of 3 months, okay, this case study was over 3 months, we were able to increase their followers on each page, as you can see there. But the big thing we did here is increase their engagement. So what is engagement, right? When you post something on social media, engagement is someone who shares, who comments, or does something. They engage with your brand or with that post, right? Whenever you share something, you want people to do something with it, right? Share, like, comment, that kind of thing. You don't want them to just look at it and move on to the next post and scroll past it. That's not an engagement. Engagement is somebody doing something with your content. And so we were able to increase their engagement on each page by over 60%. That was huge for them. All of a sudden, they started getting new patients coming in. They started getting questions on their Facebook Messenger that they could come in as experts and answer, and then convert those people into new patients and bring them into their clinics. And it worked wonderfully. I mean, we accomplished the task. And we told them, hey, there's a next step that we think that you should take. Let's take $250 a month for each page, so $500 total in advertising spend. Ad spend is what we call that. Let's take $250 per clinic, and let's advertise through the business that we do, right? We do a lot of digital advertising. And let's see if we can increase the people that are coming to your website, because we know that your website is built to convert people to coming in as a new patient, right? So how can we get more people to your website? Well, let's spend some advertising money to do that. And what we found over 3 months, just 3 months later, was that 6 out of 10 visitors on their website were coming in from the advertising efforts we were doing, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that you're kind of grasping that the importance of advertising, even if it's a small amount each month, can surpass the years of effort that you've done without putting money into advertising. Okay, a little bit of money goes a long way in digital advertising. Chase, can you go to the next slide? This is the second case study we looked at, is a gym in Lexington, Kentucky. They're a 15-year-old business. And they had been stuck in their membership base. I think it was like 1,200 or something, over 15 years, and they were stuck. They plateaued. They didn't know what to do. They called us. We redid their website, redid their branding. We looked at their wall color inside and made sure that was the same as their website. We made everything consistent, everything looking good. Talked to them about posting on social media. They started doing that with excellence, right? And so we did all of that, and then they said we have about $400 a month to spend in advertising. And so what the outcome was is, in the first 10 months, we were able to double their membership base. So they went from 1,200 to 2,400 members, and they've been open for 15 years and couldn't do this, right? And so in 10 months, so you can look at that, $400 times 12, that's $4,800, right? Just over 10 months, it's $4,000. They doubled their membership. And so then we thought, well, let's take a challenge. What if we can run one ad in 1 month for $200 and see how much money that generates for them? And we were able to pay for ourselves, right? That one $200 ad generated $8,000 to $10,000 to pay for us and their advertising expense, right? So it offset their money that they were spending in ad spend and offset the payment that they were paying us. And so these are the types of things that you can do with advertising on social media if you set everything up right. And that's why we bring to you the social media, but that's just the start. So Chase, if you can go to the next one. And that kind of wraps things up, but that's just, social media is just a start. But if you do social media well, you do your branding and your digital assets well, man, the possibilities are endless for your business. You can take it wherever you want to go. So that's these are just a few of our clients kind of talking. I'm always weary, like, is it spam? Are these people just, kind of blowing smoke? But I wanted to show you that, these are actually people that we've worked with, that we've helped and provided hope and opportunity back into, from pastors to insurance agents to coffee roasters across different states and different countries. So if you have questions, if you want more, even little questions, feel free to email us. If you want some more download things, email us. Whatever you need or want. This time during the coronavirus, it's not for the Holler. It's not about us growing our business. It's about helping people. And so once we get out of this, we'll refocus our team on growing and expanding our business. But right now, as much help as we can provide to you is where we see our fit in this community. So.
We've got one question that's been posted. My online news source, Carter County Post, is photo heavy and almost entirely driven by Facebook traffic. Is Instagram a good platform for such content? And before they answer that one, if you've got questions, please throw those into the Q&A box at the bottom, and we'll do our best to answer those live for you today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're feeling comfortable with one platform, so sounds like they've done really well with Facebook, and it sounds like they probably have a really good strategy that's pretty much guaranteed that they're able to keep up with at this point. I think personally, if you're feeling comfortable with that platform, let's add in another one. And so, like, I think your question is, you're on the right track for sure, that Instagram would be the next logical platform for that, or is it Carter County Post? So that would make a lot of sense for you to add Instagram. Don't do away with Facebook. Keep doing exactly what you're doing on Facebook. Let's add Instagram into the fold. Like the Holler, that we spend as much time as possible on as many different platforms as we can, because we know it's going to reach different kinds of people. It's going to reach more people if we're posting to all kinds of different platforms. But we don't add them just to add them. We add them as we feel comfortable with adding them to our strategy. So it sounds like in their scenario, I would definitely add Instagram to their arsenal, and keep doing what they're doing on Facebook. We're not saying that at all. Please keep doing that, especially if that's your main source of traffic. But add in Instagram. Why not experiment? If you have a little time, especially now, COVID-19 has offered a huge opportunity for us to innovate and change what we do. So let's do that. Let's add Instagram to that strategy. So that's what I would say.
Good answer. Here we got one at the top from Stephen Edens. 2 questions. How do you gather your analytics and statistics? What are the various analytics for each platform that you recommend paying attention to most?
Good question.
That's probably a long answer. If we did every platform, maybe pick a couple, maybe Facebook and Twitter. They seem to be probably the two prioritized, but you guys can take a stab at it.
Yeah, and I know Thursday, Peyton with BitSource is coming on and talking about Google Analytics. We use Google Analytics quite a bit for tracking our website traffic. We look, month to month at how many visitors we're getting, and you can see organic visitors compared to paid visitors. So when you put advertising money into getting people to your website, The analytics separate those, so you can see, that's how we were able to tell 6 out of 10 visitors to the website were coming in through the ads that we were doing. On Facebook, we don't look so much at anything other than reach and engagement. So reach is how many unique people are working with your post or working with your brand, right? When people sell billboards or they sell radio ads or they sell newspapers, they give you this this number, and maybe if you're in this industry, you can kind of understand of this is how many. Josh, help me with the lingo. Impressions, yeah. So they talk about impression. We'll take billboard companies, right? We have 30,000 cars driving by this billboard every day, so you should pay this amount per month. Well, the reason those 30,000 cars are driving by is because it's one car back and forth. So maybe it's 15,000 real cars, right? That's on average per day. That's tracked maybe a few years ago, and so we don't really know the actual numbers. With digital advertising, you know the exact numbers, but not just impressions, but also reach. How many unique people are you reaching every day? And then that's just such a more accurate number to kind of base your decisions off of. Nothing against Billboard or any other type of company, because a lot of times that's the only analytics you are able to track. So we look at reach and we look at engagement, and then on website traffic, we look at organic traffic versus money spent traffic, advertising traffic.
Yeah, and Peyton's going to go more over that on Thursday, but Google Analytics is a good tool. It's free, and it'll tell you the source of your traffic as well. So where the source of traffic is coming from to your website, and that's free to set up. And there's plenty of how-to videos on how to do that on your website. And then there's also other tools that kind of build dashboards for you, or you build the dashboards within their platform, and you could literally pull as many analytics and numbers out there as possible. So there are softwares out there that can handle building dashboards for your social media analytics.
Yeah, and there's analytics, for your organic growth and posts, and then also if you do a paid advertising on Facebook or Twitter, they give you very specific, click throughs. If you sponsor a video, how many through plays, how many people watch it. So
those kind of numbers are really important on the paid advertising side.
Yeah, I think we answered this one pretty well. This is a pretty good question. We're within a week of launching our new website with online shop for our pottery business. What recommendations can you give us for the launch?
I think use your social media platforms right now for a behind the scenes look. Grow your audience right now based off of people that are interested. We saw that just a few weeks into the coronavirus epidemic in North America that Facebook was up 70% in their usage rate than normal, right? And so look at Facebook. That's where a lot of people are going. But base it on your audience. Is if your audience for the pottery business that you're angling, depending on your town and your age, who your network is. If it's younger, look at Instagram. Do tons of short videos and photos. If it's Facebook, do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Kind of share some actual information. Maybe start talking about your background. Do some Facebook lives. We saw this little bar in our hometown. Man, they took forever to open because they were trying to open up a rooftop patio, but they had to get everything approved by the state. They had over like 9,000 or 10,000 followers on their Facebook page before they ever opened, because they were sharing those behind the scenes and bringing the community into their culture and building anticipation, right? You can do that through social media very easily. Launch your website, go ahead and get it up. Show people what you got. Do some pre-orders, right? Allow them to pre-order your pottery so that you're off the ground running day one. You're not waiting on customers to walk in.
Yeah, rule of thumb for social media strategy is to document what you're doing. Don't create new things. And so honestly, the best pieces of content are what you do every day. And so just document what you're doing during that day. Don't go off and try to create this awesome piece of content, because honestly, that comes across as you're trying too hard. Just document exactly what you're doing. So for the potter, right, just document your process of how you make a piece of pottery, right? To me, that's the best rule of thumb we can give with your strategy, is just document what your business does and then communicate that. Don't go off and try to create something, because you're gonna be wasting time, and you're probably honestly gonna start getting into like this crazy creative video that you have no idea even how to finish. And so you're going to waste all this time. But just put your phone up there, document what you're doing. And that's what people really want to see. And that's more organic and it's more real. So,
Jared, I can kind of hit a few of these pretty quick if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
that'd be great.
Okay. All right, so Ira asks, do you have any experience with Medium.com? We use different CMSs or content management systems when we build out websites. Medium is one that we don't typically use. I've used it before. It's very good. It's very user-friendly. Squarespace is another one. We use WordPress quite often for most everybody. And then our LatchenClothing.com, it's just like Appalachian, but Latchen. LatchenClothing.com is built on Shopify. It's an e-commerce kind of platform. If you don't need it to do anything but e-commerce, we use Shopify and WordPress most often, but Medium.com is pretty good. Stephen asks, what do you do if you see your efforts going south? Hey, lean into it. That's my best advice. I actually worked with a client last night at 1 a.m., right? We helped them do a public announcement from their organization out to the community, their health care organization. Immediately, some negative comments started rolling in. You need more PPEs for your physicians if you're going to stay open, blah, 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 blah. So I get a text at 1 a.m. from the CFO saying, hey, what do we do? What do we do? Let's lean into it. Let's have our CEO call them and settle things up, ease their fear a little bit. Let's talk to them about the actual experience and then ask them to delete their comment, right? Let's lean into it a little bit. If it's comments, right? If it's negative, I've thought about creating like a social media superhero that doesn't have my name on it. If you ever see this, I'm just going to say it may or may not be me, but I want to go in like disguised to businesses' social media platforms and just like inject positivity and like kind of say those common sense things that a business owner wants to say on their social media platform, but is afraid that's going to ruin their platform. Like I want to be that guy someday, but right now I'm not going to. But if it's an effort that you're doing in your business that's going south, either lean into it a little bit or just stop it and start over with something else. Or be transparent again and tell why it went south, what didn't work. Help other people understand why not to take the same steps that you did, right?
that's right. Yeah.
Elizabeth says, my business is mainly to corporate large box companies, is mainly to corporate large box companies. Not sure I understand that, Elizabeth, but I'm thinking like Lowe's or Walmart or something. How
It
does
sounds
social
like it's
media?
more of like a business to business.
Right.
Sounds like you might be a supplier selling wholesale.
Yeah, so maybe talking about the precautions that you're taking during this COVID-19, the changes that you're making, show people that your business is dynamic, that you're able to kind of who was it? Holyfield or one of those boxers, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, like
Muhammad Ali, dude, come on.
Muhammad Ali, that's right. So be fluid in what you're doing, like show people that, hey, you're under control, you've got this, and that my working with you may look a little different right now, but this is how I'm doing it. Talk to other people, who is your audience on social media? Why do you have a social media presence? Is it just to look professional to those larger box companies, or is it to gain an audience of some sort? If you always come back to your why you're doing something, then you'll never lose your how, right?
That's good.
Those were the quick ones that I saw.
Good for nonprofits. Is there a different approach from a nonprofit perspective?
I don't think so. What we've kind of been preaching this whole time is that nonprofit for profit. It comes back to your mission, your why. Nonprofits allow you to exaggerate that a little bit more because that's where all of your money is going, and it's public knowledge as to where all of your money is going. So like I can look up right now how much Jerry got paid through SOAR, right? It's just how nonprofits work in the U.S. It's pretty cool. I actually did a how-to video that we'll be posting this week about how to source new clients that are nonprofits and work with them because of that public knowledge. And so you just got to be clear, man. If your finances are transparent and that's not your choice, then let your mission be transparent. Still build a strong web presence, still build a strong social media presence, and show people how you're doing. I would exaggerate more of your boots on the ground efforts on social media than maybe the back end how you're doing things. I think somebody here locally that they're a nonprofit, a large nonprofit, and they sew military hats, right? Like they highlight their employees, they make more of their workforce, they do good things in the community, they support local efforts. And that's what they highlight on their social media. They're part of this community, even though their funding comes from a government agency. I love that. I want to
I would
attach myself.
focus. Yeah, Kevin, you saying just that last part that you want to attach yourself to that nonprofit or effort, right? I think nonprofits need to be making relationships with other business owners that want to attach themselves to the nonprofit. So to me, LinkedIn is a very good place to start. If you have nothing going on for your nonprofit right now, let's start on LinkedIn and maybe add in Facebook too. LinkedIn, to me, you're going to start. You want your message to go out to the people that are going to give you the most like support financially to keep doing. So I think LinkedIn probably is a great spot because just like Kevin was saying, and myself too, I can say it, I want to attach myself, my business and what I'm doing to that effort, right? And so I'm more willing to do that through a more professional platform like LinkedIn than I would something else. So if you need a more practical answer too, let's start with LinkedIn if you don't have it there. And like I said earlier, I think LinkedIn offers a huge opportunity for organic growth right now. And honestly, that window is getting smaller. So you need to hop on it and start doing it if you're not. What else we got, Jared?
First one, this top one is, could you talk more about Facebook groups and growing that presence? What are people looking for in groups? How do you recommend specifically engaging with groups? BTS stories. I'll share real quick before they jump in. You can now connect from your page to a group if you've got a group connected with your organization, and seeing a lot of benefit of that out of us. Like our innovation team, we have a page that promoting SOAR innovation and best practices, but then we have a group for all our clients to get together in and communicate with one another, share best practices. It really builds a community. It's a great thing for churches as well. If you've got a public page for your church and then connect it to a group where your members can be a part of it, and very much more kind of a community type feel. Any great tips from Josh and Kevin would be awesome.
Yeah, groups are a place that people look for value. And so I think if you go in there, you personally, or you as a page, and you go in there and you comment on people's questions, so you can search for a group that's very specific, niche specific. That's a lot of S's there. But you get into that group. Sometimes they're private, so you got to ask the owner if you can be a part of it. But once you're in a group, just continue to provide value. If you provide enough value in a group, people from that group will start looking at your personal profile, seeing who you work for, and messaging you. It's just a natural flow of things when you provide value. So always inject value no matter what you're doing. Never enter a group and think, I'm just going to watch. If you're going to enter a group, be active in that group. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything out of that group.
The thing about a group is, as opposed to posting on your personal page or profile and it just lands on somebody's wall, if you're in a group, everybody who's in the group, if they have notifications turned on, everybody gets a notification that you posted something.
And if you try and sell something in a group, you'll get kicked out.
You get kicked out quick. Yeah.
Try.
I'm going to go. We're out of time at this point. This last question from Jim Mills, it's a really good one. It's probably deeper than we can jump into here the last minute. Maybe, Jim, you can send me an email, or Kevin and Josh. I'm sure they'd jump on a call with you and just kind of talk through.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jim, just email me with what industry you're in, and I'll kind of walk you through some different tips and tricks within your specific industry. It's a bigger conversation.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables in that conversation.
Real quick, what tools are you all using when you guys are scheduling posts for Facebook, Instagram to hit them all at once? Is there any free tools that you're using right now?
Yeah, I answered that.
Makes the process easier.
We use Social Pilot. Other people use Hootsuite. Instagram has traditionally had a problem with connecting with some of those mass sourcing things. But what you can do with those platforms, and a lot of times they're free to use, is you can sign up and connect all of your social media accounts, so your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, to Social Pilot, and then make one post in Social Pilot, and then you can schedule that same post to go out on Facebook at 2 p.m., on Twitter at 1 p.m., and Instagram at 3 p.m., right? It's very easy to populate all of your social media platforms with just one creation and one sign-in. So.
Mm-hmm.
I've just thrown up here a quick preview of one of the documents we've provided a link to that you all have given us. This one is the social media posting guide. It's got a calendar, and it's got for each platform some great content schedules, recommendations. I think you all mentioned it, but just wanted everybody to kind of see this. This is what it looks like. Go check it out. Facebook, Twitter, several other platforms on here. Anything y'all would like to say about that before we get ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, if there's something out of date, these platforms change daily, and so just go with it.
Yeah.
This really is built like this, in this one particular, is built to get someone off the ground, and also maybe fine tune some focus of people that are already running some social media strategies. So really, this was our foundation, right? This is what we started off of. And I think it helps too for the kind of business owner that needs a checklist or needs a focus, right? This is definitely for you, because if you have trouble coming up with something to post, just refer to that. It'll give you some ideas of what to post and when to post it and all that kind of stuff.
Anything that we create comes out of typically asked questions of our business, and a lot of times it's, I don't know what to post, and if I'm going to have a blog, I don't know what to write about. So we also, and I didn't include it in here, I can send it to whoever wants, we have a blog topic generator. You put in a few keywords based on your business, your industry, your business name or whatever, and it outputs like a year's worth of blog post titles for you to use. So there's all kinds of resources like that we have available, to give to you.
Yep.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys, so much. One last time for our website, there's afuture.org/business as unusual. Here you can find lots of COVID updates as it relates to Appalachia if you go to that link. But also our upcoming events. We got 2 more scheduled in the next couple of weeks. Google Analytics on Thursday with BitSource, and then we've got Ryan Hall doing a YouTube session next Thursday, April 23rd. He's got 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, somewhere around there. Local Eastern Kentucky guy, just going to talk about really how to make money on YouTube, the tips and tricks, things that he's learned. So join us for that one. All our past events, we will get this video uploaded here on the past events, and links to all these resources will be there, and you can see all of our other events along with events from other partners that are doing great work as well. We're all in this together, so hope everybody has a great day. Stay healthy. This is not the time to start laxing on these stay healthy at home initiative. If you're in Eastern, in Appalachia, Kentucky, this is, we have not reached our peak and will not for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we really need to keep on keeping on with this social distancing. And one thing I know, we're going to come out of this stronger than we were before. It's crazy right now. We're all doing things we never thought we'd ever do. There's unprecedented times. But there's always been times like these in some way, in some form, in some fashion, where you've just got to push through. We like to say you got to have the faith and grit to get through it. And that's what we've done in Eastern Kentucky ever since people have lived here. We're going to keep doing it, and you all are part of it. I'll say again, last line, best thing you can do for Appalachia, Kentucky is grow your business. Just go out, create value, create jobs, and do what you do best. We're going to do our best to support you in that. Pray everybody has a good day. Thanks again, Kevin, Josh, entire Holler Creative team. Thanks, Ryan and Tal and our team for helping coordinate and get this together. God bless everybody. Have a good day.